Hello and welcome to the Startups of London podcast. I'm your host Ozan and the founder of Startups of London. Today I'm joined by Jose Barrera and Muji Balogun, co-founders of Expert League Pro. So Expert League Pro is a business which focuses on bespoke course and learning that you will actually enjoy, and it's combined with a consulting service in which in their website which says delivers actual results. So this is a really interesting area because as some of our audience would perhaps know, one of my first startups was in e-learning, and I think it's an area that not only can earn money as an entrepreneur, but it also does a lot of good for the world. So I'm really curious to speak with my fellow entrepreneurs here and listen to their experience. Welcome both.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
So I would love to get to know you. Perhaps it would be good to take a moment to introduce yourselves, and then we can get cracking with the questions about the business.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Muji Balogun. I have been in the banking field now for well over 20 years plus, and mainly looking at the regulatory market and making sure that the bank complies. And as you will imagine, that's involved a lot of training in regulatory field, in IT, project management, all those sorts of areas. And what I found was that the training out there, and there's a lot of it, but didn't fit how I wanted to be trained. So that's one of the reasons why we started Expert League, was to make sure that we can train you exactly how it's best to train you and not just follow a script. So thank you.
My name is Jose Barrera. I am originally from Costa Rica, and now I live here in Europe. I've been working in technology projects, managing technology projects and organizations for over 20 years, but also supporting entrepreneurs and also training entrepreneurs throughout my career. And Expert League is something that I would say came up from that as a result of all these years of experience and being able to interact with another entrepreneurs and understanding the needs that they have.
Amazing. So just to give us a brief overview of the business, what is it that Expert League does? And I'm asking this question with a specific, perhaps, thought bubble in my mind. And that is, there are a lot of businesses or individuals that deliver consultancy services. People have expertise. So I don't know if you're looking for a project manager or project management training, you can basically find it anywhere. And there are also these platforms, on the other hand, that deliver a lot of value, such as Coursera's, Udemy's, and so on. So there is both a lot of content out there, which I think some of it is really good, and there are also people out there who are happy to deliver their services. So in this very crowded market, what is it that Expert League does, and what is the market that it focuses on?
Jose, I'll let you take that first.
Okay, thank you very much. Ozan, thanks for asking, and I also want to take a moment to thank Startups of London Entrepreneurship for giving us this opportunity. And yes, actually, we started with this idea, Ozan, just because we understood that even when there is a lot of content out there and there's a lot of competition on the knowledge industry, there is still a need for a specific bespoke content or bespoke training for organizations. One thing is that you can find a lot of information, but something different is that you can find the right information you need for your people or for improving your organizational needs. So actually what Expert League does is that we not only prepare courses to deliver to everybody, but we prepare a specific content for specific organizations. So in that way, we can support specific needs. So that's what it does, is that pretty much we are able to fill a gap in the knowledge and also fill a gap in the training needs. And it has been working really good because organizations are more interested when you are able to satisfy specifically what they need and not exactly a course that you actually sell.
I see. And what are the things that companies specifically need? What are the things that they come to your help, come to you with in search of help?
Yeah. We have focused our business mostly on the business and technology area. So I would say that two are the biggest ones. So we have been, for example, delivering courses all related to project management, business, managing skills, but also in technology specific courses, like, for example, let's say Python, AWS, specific needs that they have for the consultants working with them.
I see. How can you keep this profitable? It's in terms of hours. When you make a custom solution for a client, it means you cannot sell it again. So it's difficult to scale in that sense. So how is this business when you look at it? So I think this has two questions. First is about, is it built to scale, or is it just a business that's gonna grow at a steady pace? The second one is, how do you keep it profitable? Because it costs a lot of time, resource, and materials to come up with a training. And yeah, so those are the things that I'm really curious to hear from you.
Two things that we're looking at. One is that we focus on not just providing a training course, but a consultancy. So we lead the individuals, the organization, on how to grow their training and what is the path towards ultimate training. And that's why part of the reason why we're the expert on training. We want you to also become an expert trained individual. And for that, we look at repeat subscriptions from the organization, from the user, as in that they will continuously come back and do the next step of the course. So that's one of the ways in which we generate regular income. And then we also look at as I said, we tailor the courses. So if you have a course in mind, we don't specifically say, look, we're just doing project managing Print 2. We say, whatever course you have, we will provide something for you. So recently, we've had a lot of people come to us with courses on diversity, and we've been able to look at their needs within their environment and monitor and tailor something that is specifically just unique for them. And once we're able to do that in one set of course, then we do generate the repeat business when they want another course that is slightly outside of the box.
Got it. And can you elaborate what's the experience of a course is like? Is it a daily, weekly, or self-paced learning? So how does it look? What is the delivery channel, and so on? And the design and the structure of that learning material is something I think is also fascinating.
So again, and Jose, please jump in when you feel.
Yeah, no worries.
We do the courses as you want it to be done. So if you want to do a course at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night UK time, every Thursday for 6 weeks, that's what we will do. If you have other commitments during the UK day, so 9 to 5, but you want to do it at 7 o'clock in the evening, then we will do it that way. So because we make the courses tie into your life and the way in which you want to be trained, that's where our unique selling point is. We also let you decide what type of course you want. So if you want it to be interactive, we can do that via Zoom or any other hosting media. If you want us to organize it into a classroom format, we can also do it in that way.
Amazing. So what are the Jose, is there anything you'd like to add on to that before I move on?
Sorry, Ozan, I was on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Is there anything you'd like to add on to that?
Yeah. Actually, there is something else that I think is interesting, and it's related to our name. Actually, the reason why we call Exper League is because we try to, I would say, gather and put together a league of experts. So not all courses are delivered exactly by us, but by experts. So what we do is that we connect really good talent or really expert people in specific areas to deliver specific courses. And as Muji was explaining, I mean, actually one of the reasons the ways how we started, it was when a person asked if we could do like a course instead of doing in 2 days, if we could do it in 4 different days. but just half day. It was like 4 weeks. It sounds quite strange at the beginning, but we did it and it worked pretty good. So that flexibility, it's something that really, allows people to, get a better training and get better knowledge when they're trying to increase their knowledge.
And when you say training, do you should we imagine an instructor teaching something through Zoom, or is it a pre-recorded type of a content that you deliver?
No, we can do both, but also we do like on-site training.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even when we do on-site, even when we do it on Zoom, we are quite interactive. It's not only like putting slides there and reading slides. Yeah, but it's very, very interactive. For example, when we do it on site in the companies, it's more like a game day, and you have a lot of stuff to do and work on, and people don't feel like, we have this guy here speaking for 8 hours, but it's more like, we have been doing all these things throughout the day.
Got it. So my next question is about pricing. It's really it's a very complex topic, this issue of pricing, because there is it's almost like a mathematical equation where you have a lot of variables and you don't really know, you don't have perfect information. Sometimes when a product or a service is too expensive, it means you have less clients. But if it's too cheap, sometimes that really it depreciates how it's perceived, the value of it, and it decreases the profitability. So it's really difficult to strike a balance in terms of that. So what is it that you can share with us? How do you price your trainings? How much do they usually cost for a day? How do you tactically approach this in a way to maximize the revenue for the business?
So, yes, I agree with you that it is very difficult, and you're correct in that we don't want to be too expensive that we price ourselves out of the market. And at the same token, we don't want to be too low that we appear cheap and people are unwilling to come to us because they don't think that we are up to scratch for them. So again, we are flexible on pricing. We do make sure that we compare with the market, but it's all subject to discussion. So if we have one of the major companies and they have more people and more training that we want to do, we would start off at a market rate, but obviously we're very much open to discussions. And if we look at individuals, because we do not only organizations, we do individual people, we are open to their situation. So it is a flexible rate, but at the end game is that we want to make a profit. So we don't want to be doing it for nothing. So we bear all of that in mind alongside with the individual or the organization, and we come to a flexible arrangement on the cost.
And what is the landscape and the market in terms of the rates?
They vary widely. I mean, one of the things that we benefit from is that we are an international company. So I myself am based in the UK, and one of our other partners is based in Costa Rica and one in Spain. So this gives us the ability to look wider for the training material and the individuals that we have to run the training courses. So that gives us a little bit more flexibility on the actual prices that we're able to charge. Now, if you look in the UK and you want to do a Prince 2 course, for example, you can pay anything upwards of 1,500. In Spain, it's obviously cheaper. So we take all of those things into consideration before considering the cost that we're putting on to the client. And as I said, everything is always open to negotiation and conversations with them.
I see. The reason I'm asking this question, I think this is really relevant for other entrepreneurs out there who are perhaps building stuff. They are looking at these industries and they would like to learn and gather more data, so they listen to our podcast. So it's really valuable when we share these the things that you intuitively know and that you have a very good grasp on are things other people really have no clue. So this is the reason why I'm asking it. And with that, if we just take a look at that, would it be accurate to say for a standard day, a full day training on project management, the market rate in average, I know there's going to be maximums and minimums here, but it would be something around £1,000. Would you,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
would you adjust that? Would
And
you adjust it upwards or downwards? Is that accurate with what you know?
very much, as I said, it really does depend on an individual. So if an individual comes to us and wants to do the course, and again, they want to do it over 3 days at 1 hour sessions, we will absolutely do that. And bear in mind that we will need to cost the trainer's cost. We would probably on an individual be able to come down on that somewhat, maybe charge at least a third off of what the market rate is. But then again, if we are doing this course for a multitude of people, so we've got a group that we're training to, then the rate would remain at the market rate because obviously we're training more people.
Got it. Makes sense. So what are your plans to scale the business? But perhaps hold on for a second. I think there's something even more interesting we can discuss, and that's how do you generate new business, new clients for the business? What are your channels that bring you new leads, bring you new opportunities?
Yeah, I would take that one. Yeah, actually, I think it's been progressively, probably as most of the startups face the same situations. Initially, also it was very organic, I would say. I mean, we pretty much had some contacts. Previous to this entrepreneurship, I already delivered some consultancy and training courses. So I already had some contacts and people interested. So we started from there. And then we started with our friends and colleagues and people we know, all of the partners. And then we moved to a more, I would say, digital approach. So we started creating the website. Now we are working on the social network and all that. So I would say we are in progress on that, trying to get more leads through the digital channels. But so far it's been more organic. I mean, people who know us or someone that we deliver a training course and someone else has a need. So this guy suggested us for delivering the type of training. So it's been more than like that.
So perhaps we could say for fellow entrepreneurs out there who are perhaps listening to us and thinking about building a business in this niche, in your case, you had business even before you had the website. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And that's because you had the connections and the network and the name within the industry and other channels, other personal connections and so on that would generate you for perhaps both you, Jose, and for Muji, for you as well. So is that accurate?
I think we were very lucky in that when we discussed starting the business and we mentioned it to a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues, they actually came to us and said, oh yeah, I've always wanted to train on X, but I've never been able to do so for various reasons. And they came to us. So the first few clients we had, they came to us because we mentioned that we are going to start the business. So it kind of engineered itself towards that way that we were never going to say, look, you know what, we're not ready. We need to start a website first. We need to do this first. Wait for 6 months and then come to us. We will absolutely do this now. And whilst we were doing it, we were obviously learning lessons from that. And when we got to the stage where we really need to think about putting the website together. We need to think about marketing. We need to think about company literature, all of those things. We did start those, but we were fortunate to have had clients before starting those things.
Amazing. That's what a dream looks like for a startup. That's what everybody wants. Sometimes people are not so lucky, but in your case, I'm glad you were. But I think your experience, your connections, that's really important as well. So how I would like to segue here to how it works with you as co-founders. What is the division of tasks and responsibilities among yourselves? Who is focused on what in the business?
Okay, I can take that one. Yeah, actually, we are three different partners. And actually, the three of us, even when we have, of course, some knowledge in common or some experiences in common, but we have, I would say, a very specific path, which is very positive for a company. So Muji, she focuses more on the managing per se. I mean, I would say she's the most organic manager that we can have in the organization. So she's pretty good with managing all the logistics and organizing and doing the creating the relationships and all that. Myself, I focus more on the courses per se, the training, the content, and also, I mean, connecting with people who are involved in the training industry. And the other guy, his name is Scaler. Actually, he's more on the digital experience. So he focuses on the website, on how we can create and deliver, deliver new channels, social media, and all that. So the three of us, I would say that the three of us, we can do all different things, but we are trying to focus in this direction so we are more effective.
Is Expert League a full-time focus for all of the three partners, or do you have a different working model?
We are doing both at the same time. The three of us, we also consult for other companies. So we are trying to grow this from scratch, working together. And with the expectation to be able to go to a full-time mode as soon as we can.
Hopefully, I think this is especially your branding looks spot on. The colors and the website, I think, is very well built. Gives a very professional feel. So well done on that from my personal experience.
Thank you.
It's expertleague.pro for anyone listening to us and would like to check that out. My next question would be about understanding where you would like to take this business in the next level. So what are the big milestones for you? Are you having these three partner discussions and like look into the future, imagine what you want the business to be and try to build that? So what are those conversations like when you have them, or if you have them?
Yeah, I will put a seat here. Actually, we definitely want to not kind of do the general consulting module that do pretty much whatever, but we want to focus on talent specifically. So lately we have started to started discussions with some companies who actually require to hire talent, so they require some assistance on that. But we definitely would like to focus on talent, how to improve talent. All our consulting and all our services are always aligned, and we want to focus on improving the talent from organizations.
Can you elaborate on that when you say improve? Is it about, because my mind goes to talent recruitment when you say that, but are you talking about something else?
Yeah, for example, in terms of talent, we not only train the talent, but we also do, for example, specific consulting services to them. For example, let's say that you have a company have a need, for example, in creating a new PMO, a new project management office. So due to our experience and the expertise that we manage, we can also do that. So we work with the talent in the organization to create a PMO or to do something more than just a training. But even we expand our services to, for example, as we are in different locations, we can also be able to provide for organizations talent who is located in a location that is more accessible in terms of costing to organizations that are in another location where it's more expensive. So we also are starting to explore that opportunities, but always inside of the talent industry.
Amazing, got it. Muji, is there anything you would like to add to that?
Yeah, as Jose said, yes, we not only help you get the talent, we want to also help you keep them, and we want them to also feel like they're progressing. One of the things that I've always said in my day job when I was younger was that I would stay with the company as long as I felt that I was continually achieving and progressing and becoming better at my job. And that's what we want to do for them. We want to provide tools so that individuals within an organization can see that progression within themselves and see how they are getting that from the organization and they are giving that talent back to the organization.
Got it. Amazing. For the business, and this will perhaps be my last question, and feel free to add anything or any shout-outs that you have in mind as we close. What I think is perhaps deceptively difficult in these types of businesses, from my perspective, is to at the same time look into the future and find things that will bring the company growth, and on the other hand, balance it with things that drive revenue in the short term. So this is a tension a lot of businesses feel in some ways. I don't know if you have experienced that. So my perhaps question is, have you experienced something like that? And what are your plans? How do you plan to stick what you want for the future? And how do you plan to balance the short-term consultancy opportunities, the time spent for that, versus growing the business month to month, year to year?
All right. No, actually, Ozan, that's a great question, and I would say it's one of the greatest challenges that any entrepreneur faces. Right? We are so busy trying to focus on the short-term activities that keep us, in revenue, producing revenue, having an income for a company, while at the same time we want to be strategic and think long-term and thinking new ideas to be able to grow and expand and all that. So I would say that actually in our team, that's one of the reasons why we decided to do this as a team. Not only one person, but as a team, because we are able to have some people who are more focused on the operation and trying to get this done, while others can also work on creating, be more innovative, thinking, researching on how to improve, on how to satisfy the needs from a client. But I would say that's always going to be there. It's always this difficult balance that you have to do some things that maybe are very short term, while at the same time you really would like to do another ones that are going to be producing in the long term. So I would say it's a matter of balance. But yeah, the way how we manage that is trying to focus some of us on the short term and the specific things that have to be delivered, and the other ones focus more in the long term, in the innovation, and being able to continue to grow from there.
Well, keep us up to date. I wish you the best for the business. It's an interesting direction. I'm curious about this. And so I would love to talk to you perhaps in 6 months, in a year, or perhaps in 2 years. And so maybe we will have you as a guest on the show again and see how the business has progressed since then. But in the meantime, I wish you the best with the business. Hope you can grow it really well and make a success story out of this. Thank you for joining today, Jose and Muji.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ozan, and thank you to Startups of London Initiative for this opportunity.